What's up guys, Christio here. So over this past year, I've bought a bunch of accessories for my gaming PC that have really changed my experience. This isn't going to be a best accessories list, but these are the exact accessories that I personally use every day. And if I had to rebuild my setup tomorrow, I would buy all of these again. Nothing in this video is sponsored, and I do have a few honorable mentions for you guys at the end. Coming in at number 5, we're going to have the SteelSeries Apex 9 TKL keyboard. The reason I wanted this keyboard is because before I had it, I was just using the standard keyboard that came bundled in with the pre-built PC when I bought it. That keyboard took up a lot more space, it felt very clunky, and it just wasn't comfortable. But since I've switched to this keyboard, I realized how much responsiveness and comfort matters. I also highly value how much less desk real estate this keyboard takes up without the numpad on the right, and to me, that's not a big deal. This keyboard isn't necessarily cheap, and TKL style keyboards are definitely more of a preference thing, but I would absolutely buy this keyboard again. Coming in at number 4, back to back just like that, we have the SteelSeries Rival 3 Gen 2 wireless mouse. The reason I bought this one was, again, like the keyboard, I was still using the default mouse that came bundled in with the pre-built PC, and the wire just kept getting in the way. I wasn't very good at managing my wires with the small desk I had at the time, and it was just heavy and didn't feel very premium or comfortable while gaming, especially for long periods of time. What I really like about this mouse since I've bought it is just how lightweight it is. It has a very simple design, but it's also very comfortable in that way. I have found that it has great battery life for wireless. You have the option between the Bluetooth and the 2.4 gigahertz. Don't even bother with the Bluetooth. The responsiveness on the 2.4 gigahertz is exactly like you're using a wired mouse, in my opinion. I think that this mouse is very good value for the price. Like I said, SteelSeries bang for buck. It doesn't have every premium feature you might find on more expensive gaming mice, but it does have 2 buttons on the side that you can bind to whatever you want in any game you're playing. It's personally one of the best value purchases that I've made on this list. And coming in at number 3, we have the FIFINE AM8T boom mic and boom arm. The reason I wanted this is because I grew tired of gaming headsets, especially since they were so heavy, and if you wanted them to be comfortable and perform at the most optimal level, they became very expensive. When I found FIFINE, I had never heard of the brand before, so I took a leap of faith choosing them, but the price was unbeatable. Once I got it all set up, and I bought a comfortable pair of headphones that doesn't have a mic attached because I didn't need one anymore, I realized what a game changer a boom mic and a comfortable headset can be. From long gaming sessions to long editing sessions to live streaming and everything in between, I do not regret this purchase one bit. It's very simple to set up and it's very easy to manage. I feel like this is a massive improvement and step up in terms of comfort and quality between making content and just playing games for long sessions. And at the number 2 slot, we have a monitor arm. If you would have asked me before I started making all these upgrades if a monitor arm was necessary, I would have said it was completely unnecessary. But after getting my MSI Monitor Arm, I realized how wrong I was. I couldn't believe the difference in how much desk space I freed up from mounting my monitor onto a monitor arm. The setup is very easy, just like the boom arm. It makes your setup look a lot cleaner, and it makes your monitor super easy to move up and down, left and right, front and back. Nothing will give you trouble. No matter what kind of monitor setup you have going on, from 1 monitor, 2 monitors, or even 3 monitors, I think every single monitor would benefit, and your desk would benefit too, from being mounted onto monitor arms. Before we get to the number 1 slot, I just want to list off a few of my honorable mentions. Most of these are honorable mentions because their value weighs heavily on personal preference. So to start it off, I have a new desk. When I upgraded my desk, I gained tons of real estate. I didn't know how much I was going to value that until I had it. Next up, we have a new chair. Now, I've strayed away from chairs that are labeled gaming chairs. I went ahead and bought a Lazy Boy office chair, and let me tell you, this chair is leagues and leagues more comfortable than my previous chair, which was a gaming chair. Next on the list, we have a second monitor. If you're only rocking one monitor right now, I highly recommend a second monitor. I just bought an Acer portable monitor. It was very cheap and it does its job perfectly well. I have Discord open on it all the time, Spotify open on it all the time, and it's been surprisingly useful, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then I have just a pair of comfortable headphones or over-the-ear earbuds if that's what you're into. Again, it all comes down to personal preference, but once I got the mic and the arm, I bought just the most comfortable pair of studio headphones I could buy. It has served me very well. My last honorable mention is going to be a controller. Look, in my previous video, I mentioned that a big hurdle for a lot of players switching to gaming PCs is keyboard and mouse. It can be very intimidating and very difficult, and honestly just very frustrating when you hop on a game you've been playing forever on controller and then you're terrible all of a sudden because you're using keyboard and mouse. There's no specific brand with this one. I had an Xbox controller that was wired, and then I got my Steam controller, which I love. Again, all personal preference. Finally, at the number 1 slot, I have an ultra-wide monitor. Me personally, I got lucky and found this monitor on a great sale at Sam's Club, but I got the MSI 49-inch QD-OLED ultrawide. The reason I bought it is because beforehand I just had a regular 27-inch ISP monitor and I wanted something better. It was the last addition to my setup out of all the accessories, and it's definitely my favorite. Since I've bought it, I've realized how much more immersion I have in video games with the ultra-wide setup, and it helps me greatly with productivity between work and content creation. I love the OLED colors. I've had an OLED TV for a long time, and I knew it was something I would not regret buying. Being able to have multiple windows open when I'm not gaming on one monitor and be able to see so much is such a game changer. Gaming just feels incredible, and at this point, I would never want to go back. I will acknowledge how expensive ultrawides can be even when they're not OLED, and in my experience, not every game supports ultrawide perfectly, but it's definitely the biggest upgrade I've made and my personal favorite. So that's it, that's my list. However, I just want to make a few quick points. Everyone's setup is going to look different. You don't need to buy everything all at once. Like I said, I've built mine over time these last 7 months. But if I had to recommend one thing for 2 different types of people, the first one would be the monitor, if your budget allows. And the second thing I would recommend would be the mouse, if you're looking for something that's the best bang for your buck and you'll notice the upgrade pretty quickly. But I'm curious to know, what's one accessory you couldn't live without in your current setup? What do you think your next upgrade is going to be? Everyone who's stuck around to this part of the video, I just want to extend my heartfelt gratitude. So with all that being said, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.